community to build a better future for future generations. Thank you.
Member for Selkirk Interlake Eastman.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister of International Trade needs to explain how a close personal friend wound up $17,000 richer after giving the minister a couple of days of media training. Documents tabled in this House show that in April 2020, the minister hired a PR firm run by a Liberal insider and CBC pundit, Amanda Alvaro, just a month after the COVID-19 pandemic began, at a time when many small businesses were struggling just to survive. The minister needs to come clean. Why did she award a lucrative contract to someone who describes her as a dear friend?
Minister for International Trade.
Mr. Speaker, here are the facts. This contract was proactively disclosed to the public over 2 years ago. I was not involved in the decision to award it, and this contract was thoroughly reviewed by the departmental civil servants to comply with all procurement rules.
The honourable member for Tobique-Mactaquac.
Mr. Speaker, where I come from, wrong is still wrong. A good business pays well, but being a dear friend to a Liberal minister seems to pay even better. The latest example of this is the Minister of International Trade, who awarded her close personal friend a $17,000 media contract. It is unacceptable that the well-connected Liberal insiders continue to get sweetheart deals as everyday Canadians continue to struggle with the ever-rising cost of living, with no end in sight and no help from this NDP Liberal government. When did this minister start taking after the Prime Minister and thinking that she is above the law? Wrong is wrong, is it not?
Mr. Speaker, all information related to this communications contract was proactively disclosed to the public over 2 years ago in a transparent manner. At the height of the pandemic, it was critical for small businesses, for workers, and for families to know what support was available to them. The results do speak for themselves. Over 5 million jobs were saved as a result of the wage subsidy. Over 900,000 small businesses received a loan through the CEBA loan. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Selkirk Interlake Eastman.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the Trade Minister really needs to brush up on her ethics rules. I'd like to remind her that ministers are forbidden from advancing the interests of their close personal friends. This contract is not in dispute. The problem is the minister awarded $17,000 to Amanda Alvaro, who describes the minister as a dear friend, and who also ran the minister's election campaign in 2017. So will the minister admit she broke ethics rules, and will she cooperate fully with the Ethics Commissioner's investigation?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to reiterate again that I was not involved in this decision to award the contract, and this contract was thoroughly reviewed by departmental civil servants to comply with all procurement rules. Of course, I will always collaborate and cooperate as required. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable